The empty space in front of you. Yeah. Let me just, please, daddy moments. Daddy, don't worry, at the right place. You came ready. And I even see people that mean business, you will know. Ask me why. Or how. How? The way daddy came, daddy was suit. Daddy like he's going to embassy. If I were to be the consulate like this, trust me, I will stamp the visa. See map. Is this not map? Daddy, congratulations in advance. I have received the visa. You don't know the prophet that is around, but that's him. I'm a woman of God. Okay, thank you very much. So please keep moving forward. Hi. Please, can you step forward? All right, thank you. Sorry, I want to ask a question. Wait. No. Auntie, wait. Go back to your husband. Okay, that's what I want to know. Yeah, come back. I want to say, it's not why you are staying close to him. Yeah, come, don't worry. I want to say, well, God has shown together. Let's know that he put us on that. So that's like, okay. Mama, come forward. You know one thing that used to pain me? If I were to just be an ordinary person that is coming for this event, to let's assume they want to share visa now. And they now say they are starting from me. They are not sitting at the back. By that okay? Alright, thank you very much. You have played my story, right? Receive your visa in Jesus' name. Receive it. But you have to step forward. Come. No, let her come here. No, I'm talking to her. Why? Ma, you can sit here now. Mama, come. You look so beautiful. We want to see you in our camera. Come. We brought camera because of people like you. You know me, I'm dark. The camera, before they will bring lights. But you have lights. And Bible said, let there be lights. And there was you. Welcome. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Mommy, no. Mommy, don't do. Mommy, come. Are you Yoruba? What? Mommy, don't do. Baby, I wanted to sing a song for you. But don't let me sing it. I'll keep it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say congratulations for having to make it down to the global. Look at why we are here. Global what? Wait to I want somebody to correct me. Let's know if they. Auntie, you say you're not husband and wife, but you're putting hand on his leg. Sha, don't lose focus. Don't lose. Me and my own is don't lose focus. Let's know why we are here. Just leave man now and face why you're here. Okay. All right, that was all jokes. Anyways, I made it. All right, should you wondering who is the African queen right in front? Look no further. My name is for today. Pilot. I want to drop you people. Utopia. Them. Admire. Mommy, this is your back. You know it's complimenting my outfit. I will just take it. Say take it. I receive it. Alright. Thank you, ma'am. Alright, I'll need you to compliment someone seated. Daddy, I've told you have received visa like this. And then you get connect 2024. You came with my again. That you have to get your visa. For me. Oh yeah, admire something. But just make sure you're not talking to somebody's wife and husband. Thank you. Alright, so admire something. Ask your neighbor, what's your name? What do you do? Where are you from? My name is Olusola. I'm from Osun State. And today is my birthday. Everybody say happy birthday. Thank you. Alright, so great.
I need you to
ask you a question. What's the name of your neighbor?
So
So imagine it was the consulate at the embassy that was asking me this question.
You will laugh. And you think as a consulate, I'll just look bam. Not asking for expo. Mommy, be always ready. Be ready. Daddy, what's the name of your name? I say ask for your name. Network, ask names, ask names. What do you do? You can even go as far as asking, what do you do? Because you know what you are here for. You guys will meet over there. Oh. You know, there's a community over there. So start making. It might be me that will first go. And when I get there, you need accommodation. I will not give you. Don't greet. Oh yeah, greet me. Greet. What's your name? Let me ask. Excuse, good evening, sir. Yeah, welcome. What's the name of your neighbor? Ola what? But this man. Okay, what? Sorry, is your name truly Ola? Okay, so what does he do?
On that journey.
Say the first one. Okay, moving on. Mama, what's the name of your neighbor? To the left and to the right. What? Okay, Mrs. Ojo. Okay. Uju. Okay, so what's the name? Left. Okay, what's the name of your neighbor? Left.
I don't know.
Mommy, I say neighbor. Okay, sis, what's the name of your neighbor? We have a gift, though. Me, I have a gift for you. If you don't do this, is my birthday, so I'm doing for that. But it's not visa, it's just gifts. Okay, so what's the name of your neighbor? CG. So CG, what's the name of your neighbor? Okay, so what does Shade do?
We're still on it.
It's a lie. You were not talking when I came. You were not talking. The last time I checked, you guys were not talking. This is what we're talking about. Like network, ask for Instagram handles. And please, if you know you are yet to, you're not following Vesti or on our social platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, subscribe. So that you see yourself after today. That's why you see the result of today. So please make sure you follow us all of our social media. So you get to, get informations, date information, updates about visas, about anything that has to do with travel. All right. It's a question from, good afternoon. You're welcome. I like the fact that you took the front row. Because me like this, if camera want to take me, the light. But you, they don't need lights. So you're welcome. What's your name? Which of the chairs? Is it the one that is at? Hey, when they say, what's your name? Be proud. Like me, if you ask, what's my name? My name is Eniola, the daughter of Akile. I'm from Osho for my story. So, sir, what's your name, sister, please? That's what we're talking about. When someone asks you, what's your name? Be so confident to say your full name. Okay? All right. So I'd like to ask a question. If you are given the opportunity to take just your nuclear family outside the country, say a country of your choice that comes with, okay, let's say visa sponsorship job. Yeah. And you were giving, Milida, what was that amount you mentioned? That 100 million. Okay. You are giving 100 million naira. And you're not to that. This is visa. When you get there, you have double, you have house, you have car, everything. This is 100 million naira in naira currency. In Nigeria currency. Which would you pick? I need someone to answer that. Which one are you going to pick? Daddies and mommies, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Please, can you step forward? Oh, you like it that way? Okay. Thank you. All right, so which would you pick? Anyone here that wants to answer? It's like, okay. Energy, thank you so much.
I'll pick the visa. With the job.
All right, thank you. So you said visa and a job. So why are you picking the visa? Is there a reason why you're picking the visa? And
Working.
Wow. Amen. Chances of the business succeed. All right, a round of applause for her, please. So, how many people going to be? Ma, you want to say something? Please go ahead. This auntie like dollars. She can, the amount herself cannot call naira. Right. Come on. Please, a round of applause for her. This woman is collecting visa today. We better be clapping. See, come to your turn. Ahead. Right. Hmm. Right. Right. A round of applause for her, please. There is a reason why I'm doing this. I want to be sure that we have an understanding. There is a purpose attached to why we are. At first, you don't have the wanting to relocate. You will not be here, right? If you are not aware of the things that comes with it, you will not be here, right? So I literally just wanted to be sure that we have an understanding of what our migration is attached to, and I'm so excited that I'm getting not just the regular answers, I'm getting the
of tire. That's what I want. The same way when countries design immigration policies, they're actually thinking about the type of immigrants they want. So you will hear that the UAE has just announced a new program to attract doctors. Why? Because they need doctors. The UK was looking for drivers the other day, truck drivers. So the special talent visas were designed for that purpose. In the case of America, which is largely why we're here, the US has designed certain special talent visas and they've put the requirements there. And in the interest of our time, because the numbers of visas America has is almost like you can count A to Z and still you won't finish talking about the number of visa types they have. So I'll talk about a few special talent visas that really that we like at Vesti, and one of them is the one I told you I filed for. It's called the O1 visa. So the O1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. So visa can be broken into immigrant and non-immigrant visa. Immigrant visas are for people who want to stay in a country for a more permanent period of time, a longer period of time. While non-immigrant visas are like short-term visas that basically allow you to work in a country, live in that country, but not for an extended period of time. So the O1 visa is an example of a non-immigrant visa that is a special talent visa. And when they use the word special talent, they may also use it interchangeably with the word extraordinary ability visa. Now, don't let that one, bamboozle you because they called it extraordinary ability. Instead, think about it this way. What they are trying to say is that if there are 7 billion people on the planet, we are looking for the 1% of people who have this type of skill set. And 10% of 7 billion is 700 million, right? 1% of it is 70 million. So that's still a lot of people. They're basically looking for people who have excelled, who have become outstanding in their field, evidenced by a couple of criteria. So if you have somebody here, you've actually attended a US visa interview before and you've been rejected, this is not that type of visa where somebody can look at you and say, I don't like you, and they're just going to reject you. I know they never say that. Sometimes it looks like that's what they did. He didn't even let me answer anything. Anybody has experienced that US visa? He didn't even let me say anything. He didn't ask me any question. He just was like, what's your name? You give me your name, and he's like, okay, take the blue slip. And he's like, no, you know what I mean? So it is a visa that is based on merits. And what merit means in this sense is that they are able to look at these 7 criteria. And out of those 7 criteria, if you meet 3 of it, good. 3. Imagine having 3 over 7 and they still say you are good. Because to have that 3, they believe that it sets you apart from other people. And we will try to go through like what those 7 requirements are. They're not very hard. Many of them are things that by virtue of being Nigerians and the adversity we have all gone through before, some of us have done it without even knowing. Some of us have done multiple of those things without knowing. Some of us do it. I had a session sometimes ago with some people, and for want of a better word, you know what I mean? This person is struggling. They're not doing well financially, and they met all of the requirements. And I'm like, how? Because he's Nigerian. He has written a book before because he didn't have money, not because he wanted to be an author. He just wrote the book. He has written articles in newspapers. He has done, well, it's not necessarily financially buoyant, but he has done all of these things. So anyways, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to read them out. Some of them you have done because of your work. There might be people here who have been supervisors at their work. You supervise people. It's one of the requirements. So for the O1 visa, there are a couple of requirements. First one, okay, let me talk about the benefits a little more. So the O1 visa gives you a 3-year work permit. A 3-year work permit. Covers your spouse and your kids as well. You can actually go to school if you have that visa. You don't need a student visa no more. Your spouse doesn't need a student visa anymore. Well, so you guys can go to school, you can work, you can rent a house, your kids get to go to school, and all of those things like that. You can come in and out of the country as you wish. Enough of you are traveling to America, I say, when are you coming back? How long are you using? Nothing like that. This one, you are a US worker. You get a social security number, you can buy a house, you can do all kinds of things, you can get a loan, you can get benefits. I was on the O1 visa during the US pandemic, during the global pandemic. Not just the US, during the global pandemic. And I got stimulus checks because I was on the O1 visa. I wasn't a permanent resident, but I got a stimulus check, in the mail. First of the new year, that's what we used to say. Give to me, give to my wife, give to the children as well. Literally finding money under your pillow. So, you get all of those advantages. Also, for any country's visa that you need, like Canada, the UK, South Korea, anywhere you want to go, you don't need to come back to Nigeria to come and interview. You can interview from America. And that makes a whole world of difference. Because now, you don't get to be rejected anyhow. It's always an hedge. So these are some of the interesting sort of advantages of having the O1 visa. Some of the requirements are as follows. Number 1, evidence of awards. Either national or international awards that demonstrate that you are somebody with extraordinary ability. If you have received any form of distinguished awards, awards of celebration, excellence award, some of you have been asked to nominate yourself for awards, but you said, no, I'm an outside person like that. I don't like to show myself. It's time to begin to show yourself. So evidence that you have received an award. Some of you also got awards that are plaques. Just give you the plaque. They never give you a letter. Now you need to go and collect the letter because you don't receive plaque as an evidence for this. But if you have received that award before, I'm sure the awarding body is more than happy to write you a letter to say that you received that award that year. Do you understand? Evidence of publications in journals with distinguished reputation. Journals or magazines, or newspapers with distinguished reputation. So if you've had a column before in a newspaper, or you've published an article before, or as a business person, they've done thought leadership placement for you at your workplace, or for whatever reason you've done photo speak left to right, you know what I mean. So these are things that people do as part of their career. But some people have so successful careers, but it's not just in the line of their work. That's why instead 7 but made it such that Any three combination will still be good for you. Now, evidence of publishing scholarly articles in journals or media with distinguished reputation. This is different from just articles. These are now scholarly articles. So if you are somebody who you have essentially, you've done a bachelor's and you did a thesis at the end of your bachelor's, never published it, but you have that bachelor's thesis, whether in soft copy or hard copy, and you are willing to publish it in a journal, then that counts for it. If you are somebody who maybe you're a researcher or an assistant researcher, and you maybe basically did some research work for an organization, I see somebody smiling like, oh my God, I have all these things. What have I been doing? Or somebody that says, I don't even remember where my own thesis is, for God's sake. So essentially, if you've been writing articles or research work for somebody, they publish in a scholarly article like Google Scholars or academia.edu or any of those science journals, then that will count well. Evidence of judging the work of others. Evidence of panels in Nigeria. Panelist. It counts for judging the work of others. Because if you have any evidence that says invitation to be a panelist, you're able to use that as evidence of judging the work of others. Even though on Nigerian panels, you're not really judging. It's like a plenary session. You're like, or you are giving information, but because you've been called a panelist, it can be interpretable because objective evidence. Now, evidence of high salary. Evidence of high salary. This is very simple. This is like, there is actually a median salary in Nigeria. There's a benchmark salary in Nigeria. As at my last check, until salary, high salary, and that counts for you. So they don't use other jurisdictions to judge you. They basically use, I believe there's a door on this side, isn't there? Is there a door on that side? Okay, just please let me check. So they don't use other, okay, there's no door there, okay. So they don't use other jurisdictions for this. They use only the jurisdiction where you work. So evidence of high salary. So I've talked about publications, awards. I've talked about
Judging the work of
judging
others.
the work of others. I've talked about high salary.
Critical.
Critical evidence of critical capacity in an organization with distinguished reputation. So if you've worked in any company that you can consider some of the top companies in your country, this is why startup founders, they get this easily. Startup founders, C-suite executive in any company, banks, government institutions where you have done something critical, head of HR, any of the Nigerian banks that capitalized at about, what is it now? Is it 100 billion or 500 billion everybody's looking for? If you are a senior manager or a senior banking officer or branch manager, you qualify, by default because you can demonstrate that is an organization with distinguished reputation in your country. Does that make sense? Exactly. Now, I think there's one more which is like evidence of being recognized by your peers within the field who can basically vouch for your being extraordinary. So a bunch of recommendation letters that we expect from your peers within the field. So imagine being able to put only 3. We have an eligibility test on our website. It's free. All you just need to do is to check it out, and none of this mentions academic qualification. Because this particular category works for people in sports, athletics, works for people in education, media, business. I want to say business, it covers almost everything. Entertainment, career, covers. They're just looking for the best minds. So if you're able to demonstrate that you have 3 out of those 7. So in the test, once you score 3, it tells you you passed. If you scored only 3 or 2 or less, it will tell you, well, this is what and what you need to do. And what I tell people is this. If out of these 7 things I've mentioned, you find that there's only 2 that you can find, then you know what the third thing is. You can essentially go qualify for it. It's a merit-based process. We have worked with people who literally had to write a book. This guy is into blockchain, crypto, and blockchain is very important to America. They don't want China or Russia to overtake them. So we told him to write a book on blockchain. And then he joined the Blockchain Council. Yes, the one I didn't mention is membership in organizations with distinguished reputation. So organizations like MBA, organizations like ICANN, CIPM, Koren, organizations that, it's not every engineer that is a Koren member. Do you understand? It's not every personnel manager that is in CIPM. In fact, it's not every lawyer that is paying MBA dues. Do you understand what I'm saying? So essentially, organizations like distinguished reputation, you can see Rotaract, JCI, Global Shapers Community of the World Economic Forum, all those things, all those groups that people don't pay attention to. YMCA, Lions of Lagos and all those things like that. They represent, and once you can get a membership letter to show, then that works already. So the O1 visa is one of the visas I think that if people, especially Nigerians, can position themselves, look at, okay, what is the one thing I don't have? Memberships. Okay, I'll go and activate all my memberships. Oh, they say I don't have an award, Abi. Okay, those awards they've been writing to me. 4. Then I'm going to now listen to them and tell them, okay, you can give me the award. Before I was like, I don't need the award. I don't want noise. This is where noise is important. Oh, I don't like newspaper publication. I'm a startup founder or I'm a career person. And they're like, who wants to publish? Who should we use as the face of the month inside the Guardian? I'm like, no. I don't want people to. Now this is the time to start accepting those kind of things. What about nominations? I say, people never nominate me. What about self-nominating yourself? There are tons of awards every year. Say, nominations are now open for the 15th annual XYZ. You've been doing excellently well, but you just never thought that you should nominate yourself. So that's the O1 visa. And let me tell you how quickly it gets processed. Within 12 weeks, you can finalize the submission of documents for the O1 visa. Most people finish it in 12 weeks. The fastest person I've seen did it in 28 days. He basically gathered all his documents, got all his recommendation letters, submitted them, and they got approved. And once you get approved in America, getting the visa in Nigeria is just a piece of cake. All they want to see in Nigeria is to be sure that it is you. They just want to be sure that you are the one. So they will ask you a bunch of questions. Oh, you said you are special, you do this. That's all. For most people, they just laugh through the conversation and like, oh, fantastic. They're literally, they've seen your petition that you submitted. It's probably a 700-page petition we did on your behalf. They've seen the book you wrote. They've seen your publication. They've seen all of those things. And they know that this visa, people also call it the Einstein visa. So they know Albert Einstein, just to show that it's for intelligent people. So extraordinary people. So when this guy sees it, it doesn't waste your time. So most people don't have problems at the embassy at all. Except someone that has a criminal background or something has happened before in the past. That's another thing. I thought he said there's no door there. I didn't ask whether the door was open. I asked whether there is a door. So there is a door there. Thank you. Because that would save us the whole movement thing. So essentially, you get that visa, you get that petition approved in America, and you get the visa here in Nigeria, just like that. Guess what? It is not affected by the date issue that B1, B2 has. So you don't need to wait 2025 or buy dates. No. You don't need to. They would put you on a different queue or a different line. You get your visa date, maximum 1 month. That's what I've seen. Maximum 1 month. And you go there, you're on your way to America. When you get to America, it's a different treatment entirely. You're not a B1, B2. You're not a visitor. You are looked upon as a worker. And that is very special. Now, this visa, every year, maximum 1 month. That's what I've seen. Maximum 1 month. And you go there, you're on your way to America. When you get to America, it's a different treatment entirely. You're not a B1, B2. There are also people who generally don't want to be seen as an American resident. Now, this visa, you can renew it every year. There are things they want to do. Some are British already, by birth or by, whatever. So they don't want it. So there are actually reasons why people stay on the O1 visa. Because the next one I'm about to talk about is the elder brother of the O1 visa. It's called the EB1 green card. The EB1 green card. So this EB1 green card, I don't need to go over all the requirements of the O1 again, of EB1 again, because they are the exact requirements of the O1. The EB1 requirement, this EB1 green card, uses the exact requirements of the O1. Evidence of awards, evidence of membership, evidence of high salary, evidence of the exact same thing is what will give you a 10-year green card. High salary, evidence of
Exactly.
judging the work of others.
So usually I tell people if you can qualify for the O1, chances are very high that you can qualify for the EB1. The only thing is that.
So usually I tell people if you can qualify for the O1, chances are very high that you can qualify for the EB1. The only thing
do
is
other things like background checks, fingerprints.
So that's why they do other things like background
in America
checks,
as well. You have two options.
Fingerprints.
That you can travel to America with a visiting.
America as well. You have two options. The first option is that you can travel to America with a visiting visa.
Alright, you can stay in Nigeria or your own country in case you are watching from another country in Africa right now. You can stay in your own country
in Nigeria or your own country in case you are
consular
watching
processing.
from another country in Africa right now.
The consular processing essentially will require you
to be invited. You'll be invited to the US consulate to come and do your biometrics,
to do your background check, to submit your birth certificate and all those other things like that for the purpose of you receiving a green card. Because of the backlog in Nigeria, this could take between 12 to 18 months. So it's always advisable that if you versus the old one, that in 12 weeks you can carry your bag and be going to America. So you see now, if you are in a hurry, like I was, like not just in a hurry, if you are
pressed for time.
Like I just need to get out of this place. The whole one is a great idea for you. If you are somebody who feels like I have a great job, I just need a pathway that is clear. Because within 3 months you will get the approval, and once you get the approval, you are good. It is the conversion of the approval letter to the green card
itself that takes about 12 to 18 months. So if you get the approval, your mind is like, if we have the dates that we are traveling already, literally. Even though you can't set the dates because they're the ones that are about my mind,
you can tell that okay, we're leaving Nigeria in 2026 January because we've gotten this approval, or we're leaving 2025 December because we know we've gotten this approval. So that's the difference between the O1 and the EB1. With the EB1, you get a 10-year green card right away. With the O1, you have to finish. You don't even have to finish your 3 years, but you would need to still go and file for a green card. So usually what we advise people to do is part of our methodology that really helps a lot more people to land in America. Because you can be working for people in Nigeria and helping them with their visa, but you don't care that they land. We care that they land. Guess what? I was on the staircase coming up here. My co-founder messaged me and said, I'm getting a lot of pickup calls at the airport. I'm getting accommodation requests. Why? Because, I'm telling you. It's been telling me. So, we're just coming upstairs now. So now we're floating other companies. We're floating accommodation companies. We're floating, car companies, car hire companies. That's how we want to do. We want to float insurance companies. We want to float food companies, franchises of car washes, place, you understand?
Every moment
Why?
after.
Because ultimately our vision is to help people before they move, when they are moving, and every moment thereafter. So because we care about you landing, we always will advise you, go with a visitor visa. Once you've gotten your approval, go in a visitor visa, then convert your approval while you are inside America. So in that sense, within a month of arriving, you get your work permit. Your work permit comes in the mail. You can start working while you're still waiting for your green card. So I tell people, do you know what would have happened in the first, second year of you being in America? Me, I'm not afraid to say this because those who know me very well know that, I'm not one given to trying to brag or anything. But the job that I was doing in Nigeria at less than $30,000 a year, that everybody already thought that this is a miracle. I got to America and got the same job in the same department for $150,000. Just because I changed my status. Location. Just because I changed my location. And all this happened within a year and a half of me leaving Nigeria. So it's not like maybe it took several, years before it happened. Once that gentleman left, thankfully, somebody else reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, hey, we're looking for somebody who can do this role and this one. I'm like, oh, that's me. That's precisely me you are looking for. And I reached out to that gentleman who is at code.org. I said, they're reaching out to me for a role in case they talk to you. Of course, I name dropped when I was doing my interviews to say, do you know that guy? Yes, I used to work for him. You know what I mean? So there's a lot. My point is to say there's a lot that can happen between that time you arrived in America versus you waiting another 18 to 24 months in Nigeria to do it on the Nigerian side of things. But I know people who just became senior managers in a role, and they don't want to disappoint their bosses. And they're like, Shola, I know that I can move.
I will do the process. I will even get the approval, but I won't leave Nigeria yet. I will take another 1 year. I've had somebody like that. The husband and wife, they got their O1 visa, but the wife just landed a job in one of the big insurance firms as senior manager. And because she has not worked for so long, she's been taking care of her kids. So this is important for her career. So she wanted to stay another 2 years. And then some people came into power and she didn't want to wait for the 2 years anymore. So she had to, she had to do something else, and they moved to America. Now they are working on their green card with us. So I have stories and stories and stories and stories like that. So that's how the EB1 works. The whole one, EB1. Are we following? Anybody following? Yeah. Fantastic.
All right. That were mentioned earlier, the requirements, the 7 requirements. Take note of those requirements. He has mentioned the O1 visa and the EB1 visa. So I want to talk about two.
Awesome. So when we still talk about special talent visas, as I told you, there are so many of them, but we're focusing on the ones that we can see that are fit for Nigerians and that are just easy to get on. So the third one I'll talk about is the EB2 NIW visa. The EB2 NIW basically stands for Employment-Based 2, that's figure 2. NIW is National Interest Waiver. So the United States built a visa type that can bring employees to America without requiring labor certification or PEM. This PEM and labor certification is something that is required to maintain competitiveness in America for other visa types. So there are many work permit types in America. All of the work permit types in America always require what we call labor certification and PEM. This labor certification is a way of categorizing falls into which career. Any experienced Canadian aspirant here? You know what they call NOC, right? NOC code. If you mix up the NOC code, you may not even get into your pool. Getting into the pool will be a problem, and obviously getting selected will be a problem. So they also have something like that in America called the labor certification. So this labor certification is now something that employers must do for anybody they want to hire. Now, they have the PEM as well, which is open already. It's open. The whole idea with the PEM is that they want every employer to say that, to declare that we've searched the whole of America. We couldn't find someone who could do this job. That's why we're hiring this person. You guys have heard it before, right? That's why we're hiring this person. So the EB2 NIW now waives that requirement for employers. Do you want me to come over that again? That requirement exists, and it's a very annoying requirement because employers have to prove that they've searched America and they couldn't find somebody. But this EB2 NIW, the NIW, the waiver, actually waives the PERM and the LCA for the employer. So it allows American employers to be able to hire people without having to consider the whole idea that I've searched everybody, I've done this categorization. You don't need to. No LCA, no PERM required. So that makes the employee, which is you now, or the visa seeker, to be at an advantage. And this visa, this EB2 NIW, is also a 10-year green card. It's a 10-year green card that, of course, when we say it's a green card, we're saying it's higher than a work permit, so it allows you to work. So both EB2 and EB1 are literally higher than O1. Because O1 is a what? It's a work permit. It's a limited term, 3-year work permit. But the EB1, EB2 NIW are both 10-year green cards. And what's the requirement for the EB2 NIW? One popular, simple requirement. A bachelor's degree with 5 years experience or a master's degree. Let me tell you, I do this a lot. I talk to people about these things a lot. So I already know some of the questions you are going to ask. Like, what if I have a master's degree and 5 years experience? I did not mention experience with the master's degree. It says master's degree, even if you just got it today. So if you have years of experience, if you don't have years of experience, the only one that requires years of experience is bachelor's degree. And I can see what is on your face right now. It's like, no, tell us the other requirements. That's the expression I get all the time. And it's so funny because the US government says that's the only requirement. Yes. O1, EB1, if you do, it's optional. You look like you're an active case. Are you an active case with us? No. Okay. So how do you know about the 7? Okay, the 7 I gave earlier. Oh, that I just gave earlier. No. They are basically, so the reason they created the EB2, I will tell you other documents that needs to be added. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying there's no other requirement. Of course, they will ask for a birth certificate. You have to provide it. It's not like you just say, this is my certificate for bachelor's and that's it. No, you will fill forms. We're still going to write a petition. I will tell you more about that. But the main requirement, the thing that if you don't have, don't bother. You know, that's the meaning of requirement, right? Requirement. So, if you don't have a bachelor's degree or equivalent, what is equivalent of a bachelor's degree in Nigeria? There's also an equivalent. HND. Now, there's an issue with HND holders. The issue is that the self-esteem of HND holders has been beaten down. If nobody wants to talk about the fact that they have HND, people, and it's a degree equivalent. So as a result, even when you tell an HND holder that they are qualified, they say, no, it's not true. It can't be possible. And of course, banks and multinationals have also made it really hard. That they're like, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, it's an equivalent. So it's 2 degrees. It's 2 associate degrees when you have an HND. In every other country in the world except Nigeria, to do one and do the other. It's 2 associate degrees. That's why Canada counts it as 2 degrees. As 2 or more. You know, right? Canada counts it as 2 or more degrees. No, people, you guys don't know? Yeah, HND people actually get more points, like with Canada. Because it counts as 2 associate degrees, because you've done at least their minimum of 2 years. So, but back to what we are saying. Bachelor's degree, if you are using bachelor's degree or HND, you will need to prove that you have 5 years experience. If you have master's degree, you don't need to prove anything. A lot of samples, but we expect that you provide a sample draft of what you want to do in America. It can be 1 page. It can be 1 page. It can be 10 paragraphs. It can be generated by ChatGPT, wherever, whatever. Just give us a draft. Because we are going to develop it into an 18-page endeavor. 17, 16, 18-page endeavor. Proposal of what you want to come and do in America. Then we're going to combine it with a petition that we'll write. Now, if you have other accomplishments in your life that you have done, let's say you had an award, you have a membership, we would add all of that. But they are not the requirements. If you have any of those evidences, you've spoken at conferences, this and that, add it, no problem. You have this certification, that certification, this degree, that degree, this conference, this promotion letter, that promotion letter, you can add it to it. It will only make it juicier. But what is needed, your bachelor's degree and transcript, we ask you for all that. Evaluated, transcripts. We have credential evaluation bodies that we're partners with. And we're going to add all of it together and make a petition out of it and submit it to the USCIS. We have already found what the US government is looking for. The national interest of the US is defined every year through a certain set of documents that we are privy to. So what we do in America, as I said for the H-1B people in the morning, graduating from high school is bliss. Just getting your GED, that is bliss. That's why it's one of the most celebrated graduations. They celebrate high school graduation like it is university. In fact, usually people don't do parties when people graduate from college. What they will do is the kid that will do the party by himself with his friends. But during high school, parents will call everybody and cook jollof rice and do all of that, because high school that's all you need to be successful in America. You've heard of stories of people who graduated, who dropped out from university like Gates and Zuckerberg, because it's a thing. It's not, you can go for summer and not come back to college because you already have what you need. 3-4 generations, no graduate. There's a lot of that. Not like Nigeria, that if you're not a graduate, they can't even consider you as somebody in life. So, which is an interesting thing. So they now know that Nigeria is one of those countries with the drive for education. So if you have that, the chances that if you have that master's and you get to America, you want to do a PhD, you will add to the economy. They know you are learned in some way. And that's it. This one also, within 90 days, which is like 3 months, 12 weeks, you can gather all the documents required, submit it. The only challenge with it right now is that it's backlogged by 1 year. And if you know how many years India is backlogged, you will not worry about that 1 year backlog. India is like 10 years backlogged, 11 years. Like they are in 2012 right now for processing visa for America for many Indians. 2012. How many of you have heard about sibling filing? Anybody, yes? When your sibling files for you. Aha. Sibling filing, you know how long it takes sometimes? 10 years, 11 years. It's because it's backlogged. The number of Nigerians that have filed for their siblings, they are still in 2013 processing it. That has changed now, though. Last year, a friend of mine who just got filed for 3.5 years got called to come and submit their documents, and that's beautiful. So 1 year backlog is nothing. This is September. Who can believe it's September 2024 already? Like, you get what I mean? So if you get the approval this September and you can move to America in September, that's not a bad idea at all. So that's the only difference. But because we invest, we are very used to somebody talking to us in April and meeting us in DFW airport in July. We are used to it. You know, we're very used to people starting their process and calling us, oh, they just arrived in New York yesterday. So, yes, 1 year may sound like, oh, it's long, but it's not. The other beautiful thing is that the USCIS is like a corporation. That's the US immigration. So if they have 1 year backlog now, that's what you're hearing, another person may come into power and they will hire several more people and it will collapse that 1 year backlog into 2 months. And they will clear the backlogs. They also do something funny sometimes. If they hire new employees, they don't start the case from the back. Sometimes they start from the front. So it will just get current immediately for anybody that is just filing, and they will start clearing the backlog simultaneously. So don't let that bother you. But it's important for us to provide it as full disclosure that the EB2NIW is 1 year, and you will hear it. I mean, for anybody who is trying to move abroad, I always say that your greatest resource is the ability to research by yourself. So you will find it if I didn't tell you. You will still see it somehow. That, oh, Shola did not say that this thing is backed up by 1 year. I want to move quickly. Oh. So you can evaluate which one you want to do just based off of that. So since I've talked about these three, I think it might be good to touch on the pricing for these three. And then I'll talk about H1B, maybe talk about UK technician,
then Canada startup visa.
Then Canada startup visa. So, and I hope I'm not boring you guys. Okay, thank you.
Just to add, please take note of your questions.
It's just the people on this side
that are very active.
The people on this side, I don't know what's going on. Am I boring you? Oh, because... Oh.
She was there in the morning.
Yeah, she was there in the morning.
All right, but
I told you will not tell anybody now. Eh? That's what we agreed. But it's funny where I'm just kidding.
but I need to reiterate that if you have questions, please, we will appreciate if you note down your questions. After now, we'll be answering some questions.
Because there are definitely questions in people's minds. So let me talk about the pricing for these three. So first, let me start with comparative pricing so that you are aware before I say what I'm about to say. The first thing I'm about to say is that none of these three processes require proof of fund. So yes, they don't require proof of fund. And you know how proof of fund is a challenge for many people. Number one, it takes your time, takes your effort. You're not even still sure whether it's a fixed statement they gave you, all kind of things like that. You know, so it doesn't require proof of fund. That's number one. Number two, it is cheaper than education, either in the UK or in the US. So in the US, you pay like $20,000 minimum for school, sometimes even more. In the UK, you know what I'm talking about. There's not even any serious school that's less than £13,000 now. If you know anyone, let me know, so I can send students there. Most of the serious schools, they are around £13,000 and above, and that's just being conservative about it. If you will go to a named school in the UK, Warwick, go to Oxford, go to all of these schools, even Sussex. If you want to go to any of those schools, you are looking at £25,000 and above. So that provides some perspective for you. The third thing I want to say before I tell you the price is it covers for your family members. So those of you that are single here, I'm sorry, this is another day where you not feel like being single, because it's an advantage to those who are married. Say again. Yeah, that's what I'm going to. I want to talk about the children. So people who have families, spouse and kids, it covers your entire family. So whatever amount I mentioned, just divide it by the member of your household to determine how much each person is paying per head. So it basically covers children that are under the age of 21. If you have any child that is turning 21 soon or that's turned 21, they won't be covered, right, on that one. So with the other programs we can do for them. Now, for the O1 visa, it costs $10,000. And this includes government fees. $10,000. And this includes government fees, includes, attorney fees. In the case of O1, includes business registration. Because essentially the way the O1 works is that if you don't have a company that is sponsoring you, you are allowed to register a business that will file for you. A very strange country, right? You register the business. Business doesn't have to make any money yet. But the business, we need the tax ID of the business to be able to file for you. That's what I did. So you don't need, so that's interesting stuff. So it covers all of those things under the 10,000. The EB one is 11,000, so it's just 1,000 more. It's a green card, so you can understand why. And we'll do a little more thorough job, because it takes more scrutiny. So that one is 11,000. The EB2 NIW is also 10,000. So if you have a master's degree and you don't have all those other things I mentioned, and you feel like you would rather go for the green card because you're not really in a hurry and you can wait for that 1 year. But if you want to live, like you want to live, like you just want to go and access the world, America, and be able to do what you want to do. Like me, I was like, the thing was here. Like, no, I can't take it no more. You can do the O1 visa for 10,000 because it's the same cost as the EB2 NIW. Now, there are a few other associated costs that I need to disclose to you. The first one is if you want to expedite, it's called premium processing. The money doesn't come to us, it goes to the US government. So if you want to expedite with the US government, this particular process, it costs you $2,805 extra. $2,805. The US government is saying that we will put you in front of the line if you can pay us that money. No need to bribe anybody, no need to just send us a check. That is $2,805, and we'll put you in front of the line. We'll process your case in 15 days. Regardless of which one? Oh, for any of the three, they will process in 15 days. Your petition will be processed in 15 days. So you will get a decision on your approval instead of waiting for the normal period, which is 3 to 6 months. That's what I did the first time with the O1. That's what I did with the EB1 the second time as well. I got my approval 9 days for the O1, I think 8 or 7 days for the EB1. Just like that. No, I will get to it. So, but the premium process makes it happen. I will tell you the 4 responses you can get from the USCIS. This is a fantastic question. So basically, that's the cost. So just add 2,805 to 10,000 if it's O1. Add it to 10,000 if it's EB2 NIW. Add it to 11,000 if it's EB1. Right? Now, they also introduced something called the asylum processing fee. This is new. All of it started April 1st. So for those of you who are considering, what Shola is saying is really good, but I think I'll do it next year. You don't know what the price will be. So 1st of April this year, they added a new price called asylum processing fee. I'm not doing asylum now. Why do you want me to pay for asylum? Because they want people who are applying for employment-based visas to cover the costs of people who are seeking asylum. That it just makes sense to them that you are okay. So let's help those that supposedly have challenges. So pay for them. So, and it's compulsory. You can't remove it. The other fee that is there is $315. It's almost a nominal fee compared to the 10,000 you are paying. Then in your own country, after your visa has been approved, you will have consular fee to pay. Consular fee, because we can't determine it because we don't know the number of children you are going to take there. We don't know who needs it, who doesn't need this in your family. Some people have Americans as kids. Some people's spouse have British passports, so not everybody needs it. So we can't determine. But usually it's around $160, the popular amount that they collect at the local embassy. And you don't need to spend it until your petition has been approved. Oh, for everybody that is applying, for any human being that is applying, child, about $160 per head. I have to use about because they keep changing some of the fees. But these are fees people are used to. It's straight to the US government, usually payable through Vesti app as well. So that's it. That's about it. No other requirements. If you are doing the visa consular, that's for the EB1, you will pay that amount. If you are doing it in America, that means you came with the B1, B2 like I was advising the other time, and you want to do it in America, there is a fee for that as well. Those are government fees. They're usually listed. But usually I won't worry much about them. They are inside what we call our fee agreement. So there's a breakdown of all the fees we ever charge. Even 3 years after you move to America, you want to renew your work permit. All of it is there. So, you know, everything is there. So it's not an issue at all. And you will get to read the agreement before you sign and go ahead. So I think in terms of pricing, we all understand, right? So before I move to those other visa types.
H1B.
Okay, before I move to H1B, I wanted to answer what are the 4 responses you can get. So there are 4 responses you can get at Vesti when you are working on this. There are 4 responses you can get in total. I'll tell you the ones you can get at Vesti and our clients always get. The first response that you can get from the USCIS is an approval. Congratulations. That's your portion, right? That's it. That's what most of our clients get. That's why we have a 98.6% success rate. The second type of response you can get is an RFE, a request for more evidence. Request for more evidence is a good thing because it means that the officer is inclined to actually approve your case. He just needs to understand the full meaning of NIFES or NAOS or UNILAG that you have put inside your work without explaining. Or is missing a letter, or is missing a document, or your birth certificate doesn't look original. So it's asking for more evidence. The third one, from the third and the fourth, we don't hope that our clients get it. The third is called the notice of intention to deny. The notice of intention to deny is a bad thing, but it's also a good thing. Why it is good is that you are able to know that something is coming, and you can begin to plan. It makes sense for people that are in America already. If you're in America and you get a notice of intention to deny, you know that I need to work on this before this denial comes. Because every denial will still come with a number of days. So you have 30 days to do something else. But the notice of intention to deny will come so that somebody can prepare. Now, most of our clients don't get it because if you get a notice of intention to deny, it's either that case wasn't, airtight, or the person has some things in their background that did not disclose to the lawyers. Outright denial, that one should not even happen. It's almost like you didn't submit. Maybe you fill the wrong form for all the petition you submit. So outright denial shouldn't really happen because at least you get a notice of intention to deny. So those are the 4 responses. So when people get RFEs with us, we don't panic. We don't panic. We just look at it. We study the RFE. We run a strategy session with the person on the RFE to say, this is how we intend to respond. Do you have other things that you didn't tell us before that you would like to add to this to be able to show that the U.S. government that you are? And usually, as I said, they are inclined to approve it. They do believe that this person is special. They just need more information. So it's always, and also in the RFE, they tell you how many points you made. So they will tell you that out of the 3, you already got this, you got this. So this is the one that we're finding it hard to understand. Can you send us stuff? So it's easier for the lawyers to attack that particular. It still has to be done in a skillful way, but it's usually done. So did I answer your question, madam? Yes. So basically, those are the 4 responses, that people often get. Now, in what we call a clarity call, which is compulsory. I'm sure some of you have heard about clarity call with Vesti, where like, we pay $99. Well, that's how it is done in America. In fact, the $99 is our way of saying that we empathize with the Nigerian situation. Because most law firms charge $250, $180, because time per hour is what they charge in America. And that's how it works. So it allows you not to waste our time and allows us not to waste your time as well. And the amount you pay for the clarity call is deducted. It's deducted from your overall sum. So you are literally paying towards it. So it's not like they will say, okay, come and pay it again. No. So it's always a good thing. We just want to be sure that these people are ready to go. All right? So in the clarity call, they will still go through almost all these things I said, but now it will be in a personalized format with you and your family or you alone, just to make sure that you get all the disclosures before you pay us the first sum. I've seen people from meetings like this who go like, I can pay tonight, I'm ready. I'm like, no, you can't. Per law, per our guideline and policy, you need to do a clarity call. Even if you have that money right now, we don't want you to pay right now. We want you to go through because it reduces any conflicts or issues along the line because you are clear. People have done clarity calls before and be like, I actually thought this was for me, but I realized this is not for me. And they will go, and we are cool with that. Because we want to make sure we give you what matches you so we can reduce the error rate. Reducing the error rate increases the chances at success. Right? And that's what has helped us to keep a very stellar approval rate all this while. And we want to keep it like that. So pretty much that's what I want to say when it comes to that.
To the H1B visa.
Please still keep getting your questions ready. For the H1B visa, the H1B visa is a non-immigrant category. Remember I talked about two types, non-immigrants and immigrants. So the non-immigrant category, called the H1B visa, is a specialty occupation visa. It requires a bachelor's degree or HND, that's or equivalent as well, as the minimum. If you have a master's, you can still apply. The H1B requires an employer in the US to hire you. So essentially, it is the way of hiring employees, foreign employees. So it's the way, thank you. So it's the way to hire foreign employees. I'm okay with the bottom. Now, every year, the US can only hire 85,000 H1B skilled workers. 85,000 every year. 60, perhaps they can get picked the second time. Now, it will have been fantastic because everybody who applies should just have been selected if they don't get up to 85,000. But every year they get 250,000 or more. So they don't have to, that's the reason why they conduct a lottery. So if you're one of the people in this room who has said it the moment you saw Vesti advertising the lottery, saying that I want to today, oh, this is not true. Maybe they said they've cancelled the lottery. The lottery that was cancelled, and it wasn't actually cancelled, we met the cap. Like we finished it. It's not like they cancelled it. It's the diversity visa lottery, which is the green card. America was interested in increasing diversity. That, okay, we are too white. We don't have enough of this kind of race. And it doesn't help for competition. It doesn't help for diversity in ideas and thoughts, which is what America is built for. So they created a diversity visa lottery that time for people to get green card. And if you remember the people that got it that time, it was nearly anybody. In fact, there was no bachelor's degree requirement. It was just like that. People got it from everywhere. But this one focuses on your bachelor's degree. And all you need to do is to get into the pool. We have a registration form tonight. You get into the pool. Once you get into the pool and register, once you register, you have entered the pool. It's so good that the pool, the mixing, the shaking of the draw happens every year between March 1 and March 30th. Actually, it happens around March the 30th. But they will allow entries to come in between March 1 and March 26th. They always change the date each year, so just right about that time. And by end of March, which is first day of April, they will announce all the people that have been selected. It's so nostalgic, it's so life-changing, so surreal. It happens like that, and you have to arrive in America by October. I didn't say you should. You have to. I'm telling you. Usually you can't arrive before October. That's what I mean. But anytime from October, they would expect that you should arrive because it is expected that you are coming to come and resume work. Are you guys following what I'm saying? So you get the selection in April. You file with us because there's still some filing, but this filing is almost like 99% sure because you've been selected. Something has to really go wrong for you not to be approved. Once the approval comes out, usually the deadline for the submission of the petition is like June 30th every year. So it means that by August 2nd, August 3rd, 2-3 weeks later, people start getting approval. Some people are still waiting for their approval right now, and they will soon get it. And many people have been approved. We've had many approvals already this year. Some of them even came earlier in the day to speak to people. So once you get the approval, then you take it to Walter Carrington here. For those in Lagos, and if you're from Abuja, you take it to Abuja. Or if you're in the UK, because people apply from the UK as well. And that's it. Your family is covered. It covers your spouse, covers your kids. And you can move to America. And how much does it take to enter into this lottery that I'm talking about? $1,000. $1,000 to get into the lottery. It covers the government fees because we actually pay the government. Someone say, Shebi's lottery should be free. I said, where did you hear that? Even gambling going is not free. So, and the odds are way better than gambling because they actually pick 25 to 30% of everybody that applies. That's why the fact that it's randomized. So this year we had about 1,000 people in the pool, and they picked over 240 people. And I would take that any day. That's a good chance. If they tell you that if 10 people are in this room now, we'll pick one person to move to America, sure, with a passport, do you think it's worth it to leave home for? It is. 1 out of 10, let alone 2.5 out of 10, 3 out of 10. It could literally be anybody. And Father, it covers your family. And I've seen some lucky families where both the husband and wife entered the pool individually, and both of them got selected. So I always tell spouses that you can increase your chance as a family if both of you have bachelor's degree minimum or HND to get into the pool so that at least one person will get selected. Even if 2 get selected, you don't need 2. Only 1 person is what you need. Except you guys have other plans that we are not aware of, but the most part is only 1 person is needed. So always think about it. If you have siblings that have bachelor's degree, kids that have bachelor's degree, don't just enter the pool alone. It could be that kid that will be selected. I'll tell you the story of one of my friends. I like to tell this story a lot. When they were still doing diversity visa lottery, this guy helped his friend to get into the lottery pool. Like the friend couldn't afford it. So he helped his friend. So he wasn't selected. It was the friend that he helped that was selected. The guy moved to America. He's a citizen now. Nearly 10 years later, he hears about Vesti. And he decides to put the name of that his friend that put him in the pool. Guess what? They picked him this year. That's so surreal. That's like he just wanted one thing he could do. The way that guy changed his life. He works with Accenture now. He's bought his own house in New York. He's doing great. They picked him. They picked that gentleman. You know, and he's moving to America. In fact, he's gotten his visa and all those things now, I believe. Grateful person, right? He just thought, okay, I mean, it's not like he could have done anything if they didn't pick him, but, you know, the gesture was just good, and God was behind that gesture to say, you are a grateful person and you are trying to do this, and the universe just favored him. So those are interesting stories about this, you know. Yeah, it's just worth it. It's $1,000. It's worth it. I know $1,000 means a lot now in Nigeria, but for the chance of what could be life-changing, I think is worth it. Now, there were some vouchers that were going around for those who came for morning sessions. I don't know how many of the vouchers we still have left. But I believe they made provision for some people in the morning. I think some people didn't come in the morning because of work. So they might still have some vouchers left. The purpose of getting that voucher is that it takes $300 off the cost of the initial 1,000. So it's worth it. Now that's for anybody who thinks that it's worth it, like for real. And someone will feel like, are you kidding me? Why are you gaslighting us? How can you say $300 is not important? I have seen somebody reach out to me. I've seen somebody. You want to? I have somebody who actually literally said, you know what? Is this still going to be open next year? Is it going to be open in September? I'm not sure. So it's not everybody that somebody will say, oh, I will pay for the full amount. There's a contract I'm expecting. So I'll pay the full amount. I don't care about it. So other people will be able to use the voucher. But if you want to use it, you can have it 48 hours. You'll be given a link at this program. Do not share that link, I beg you. You know, if you got it, we will remove your money. If you go and give that link to somebody, when you are selected, I'll be waiting for you. So don't just take. If you need more than one voucher because you know that people are going to use it, then you can take it. Do you understand? You can take it. Just one second. I will take your question. So basically, once you do that, there are other fees. Oh, last year they said we did not declare the other fees. That once people are picked in the lottery, we are supposed to pay their flight ticket and book their accommodation and all of that. They started calling us out online. I said I did not know that. I still have to explain. So since that time, even if there's money for Uber to the airport, I always say it. So apart from the 1,000 you are paying to get into the lottery, you are going to pay filing fees when you get selected. But because you've been selected, it's a thing of joy. The fees as of today is $8,250. It contains the government fees as well, contains other things. You're going to pay $65 for credential evaluation. If you have not already evaluated your credential, that means you've not done it on WES or any of those things, you will have to pay $65 for credential. So, thirdly, you will pay locally for your visa here, all these $160 I was talking about. And when you are selected, if there is no family member available to drive you to the airport, you have to book Bolt or InDriver or Uber to get to the airport. And accommodation and flights. I'm just kidding. You know it's a joke. But I'm telling you that people really need these explanations so that they won't say they were not. I'm feeding money for a while. Thank you. Thank you. You know, but sometimes we think it's a joke, but we've actually seen people written very stern emails to us saying that I thought the lottery meant that you were going to take care of me for the rest of my life. I didn't know that this had to do with me continuing to pay. But, I mean, anyways, so that's the story of the H-1B visa. We opened it August 1, and people have started applying. We closed early bird on September 5th, and ever since people have been paying. People have been paying the full amount. Now, people watching online now, they'll be like, I'm not in that room, how will I do it? You know, so, where's Bumi? If people are watching online, do you want to help them? Are there people that genuinely told you they couldn't come, you know, who wrote you serious articles? Maybe even Samuel, are there people telling you right now online that they want the voucher? If they do, you guys have to find a way, because there are people that have genuine excuses. I have one of my favorite Bible verses, sorry if you are not a Christian, is that blessed are those who believe, even though they do not see. So there are actually people who live in other parts of Lagos and even other parts of the country that can't come. They just look at it and say, okay, I believe this guy is worth it. But there are some of us that our eyes have seen. They have been challenged. We've seen people look legit and they are not. So it's understandable. And we also appreciate it when people come. Give me 1 second. When people come, because when you come, you also become people who can physically tell, say, I actually went there, I saw them, I interacted with them. So my question is that, for those who are online, who is talking in the microphone? In the other room, okay. For those who are online, do they get the voucher as well? They don't get the voucher? You are very thoughtful. Okay, anyways, we'll figure it out. I wanted to use that as the second, because mind, I'm feeling like we should give them voucher. Well, instead of her to join me and say, okay, let's do it, she's like, no. Anyways, because we know other lawyers that charge 1,500, 2,000 for these things. Like, so it's understandable. Many companies who want to file for their employees, they pay thousands of dollars just to get these things done. So it's definitely worth it, you know, at that price point. So that will bring it down to about $715. It's only, you're only able to use that link for another 48 hours. So as quickly as possible, try to use it. The link is going to be provided. Bumi, do we have the link, or are you sending it via email, or is it on the voucher? We're sending it via email right now? Yeah, we should send it like right now. It's been going out already. Okay, so you get just that link because you're here, and everyone has got it. Oh, they got it already. No, that's H1B. We're talking about people that are here now. Okay, so I want to get their own customized link so they have access. Oh, okay, that's fine. So, but you haven't given them vouchers yet. Oh, okay. Do you have enough for people in this room? Okay. It's not everybody that is going to do it, sir. So that's normal. Yeah. So we should have enough for as many people who are interested in doing it today. Nice. Bumi. Hey, Bumi. Anyways, so it's not everybody that, but as many people that need it, please take it. That's the H1. I know you came for EB1 and other things, but I always tell people, prove your process. When I was in Manchester and Birmingham, I told them, when I wanted to move to America that year, I applied for Canada. I was in Canada pool. I was doing Canada. I did IELTS 8.5. I did everything. I did IELTS lesson. I did Ghana work permit research. That would be the last thing. If not, I won't stay in this country. Now, that time they didn't have power problem in Ghana. So I was like, this is where I'm going to. I did education in America. 2 schools. One in Houston, one in California. That if this doesn't work, this one will work. This one doesn't work, this one will work. This one doesn't work. And I know a lot of people say things like, that's a lot of money that you will have to spend on the process, but it also saves you a lot of time. So if you are working on the EB1, preferably get in the pool for the H1B. What will happen is, before the EB1 even comes out, you've gotten the H1B. You move to America, you're waiting for your EB1, which is your green card. So when I got to the US 6 months later, they picked me in Manitoba, in Canada, and invited me. I said, guys, me, I don't dare here. I know they come. You know, but it means that if I didn't get to America, just think about it. It means that 6 months after that period, I would have gone to Canada, which would have served my purpose as well. So that's the reason why it's important to consider doing the H1B lottery, you know, just registering. All you need to do to register tonight is to upload your passport. You don't need your transcript. You don't need we take your word for it that you have the bachelor's. Just make sure you actually have it. So you don't need to look for the documents tonight or anything. Just upload your international passport. Make sure it's not expired. If it's expired, make sure you have plans to get it before December, because March is when they will do the draw. Oh, March is so far out. So why are you registering people now? Very simple. This year, we returned a lot of money. Over $10,000. I can show you on Stripe. We returned a lot of money to people. And of course, sorry, it wasn't 1,000 this year, just so you know, early this year. It's the US government that also increased their money 21 times. The US government, so you don't know what it will be next year. It was $10 early this year. $10. 10 ewa. $10. That's 21.5 times. $215. So you don't know what will happen next year with it. So it's on there. It's online. You can check it. They increased it. So other fees also increased. Other associated fees. Processing the recruiter fees, because this covers the recruiter as well. So the recruiter is the person that is going to provide the employer profile that we're going to use to file for you, because we are just a technology and filing firm. You get what I mean? The recruiter that will provide. Right? So that's really simple. So that's the reason why it's a little on the high side this year, or supposedly, but still like half the price that many other organizations charge for it. So that's that about the H-1B.
That's the H-1B.
H-1B.
So go to the global talent.
Does it lead to a green card? So you can apply for a green card as a result of it. It doesn't convert. It cannot grow or germinate into a green card. But by virtue of being in America, you would have had tax returns, rent, credit history, all of those things that are needed to apply for a green card. So usually people apply for a green card after they are spending the second iteration of the H-1B visa. The H-1B visa takes 3 years. 3 years. 6 years, but you won't wait for the end of the 6 years. Once you start the second set of 3 years, which is like year 4, you can apply for a green card. But another thing is you don't have to wait to apply for a green card if you don't want to use the H-1B process. If you are single and you genuinely fall in love and marry an American, you get your green card right away. If you join the military, which basically requires a green card to join anyway, you get your citizenship. If you find another visa type like EB1 while you are still in America, or you do your master's and you do your EB2, you can get your green card earlier than waiting for the expiry of the H-1B visa and the renewal, which then becomes the 4th year. So you don't have to wait for that. There are other pathways we can show you. But this takes you into America with a work permit, an assurance that you are not being limited whatsoever. All right?
So we move, we've talked about the O1, the EB1, the EB2 NIW, the H-1B. Now we want to talk about the Global Talent Visa, which is the UK technician.
I promise you I won't take time on these two. The two visas called the technician and the Canadian startup visa are actually also like special talent visas. It's just that they are the UK and Canada equivalent respectively. So the UK also wants best talents to come to their country. So they set up the Global Talent Visa, and the most popular type of Global Talent Visa is called the Tech Nation Visa, endorsed by an endorsing body called Tech Nation. People started calling it Tech Nation, but it's actually Global Talent you are still applying for. So there are many endorsing bodies in the UK. Endorsement bodies are bodies that the UK allows to tell the UK government or recommend to Home Office, which is their own USCIS, right? To be able to recommend to Home Office that this person is deserving of being categorized as a special talent. So one of those endorsing bodies that is very popular and funded is Tech Nation. So Tech Nation helps anybody who is a developer, software engineer, UI UX designer, animator, graphics designer, to come to the UK if they are considered either an exceptional talent or an exceptional promise. Exceptional promise is someone that is early stage in their career, probably just graduated from college, still new to the task, but is showing and demonstrating promise that they can excel. Exceptional talent is somebody who has been recognized as a leader within their industry, within the technology ecosystem. Now, is the Global Talent Visa limited to only technology? The answer is no. Fashion designers, music artists, many of you know Bez Idakula, that plays the guitar and sings Bez. Bez, the Global Talent Visa winner, and is a music act. So there are several other fashion and several fields that artists, visual artists, art and craft, if you've been recognized in your country as somebody who designs that, you essentially can get the global talent visa. And Vesty will help you. All you need to do is to get on the clarity call, and then we pass you on to the case officer. The special talent visa costs only £7,000, so it's not as expensive as any of the other ones, but they are quite close as well. It gives you a 3-year work permit in quotes in the UK, allows you to be able to work. You know, if you're an exceptional promise, it will be 5 years. Exceptional talent, it will be 3 years. The 3 years is for you to be able to become a permanent resident. So you'll be able to file for ILR after 3 years, indefinite leave to remain, which is the equivalent of their own permanent residency, except that it doesn't have term, it's indefinite. And then you'll be able to become a citizen, sometimes just 2 years after. So if you spend 5 years on the UK Tech Nation visa, under the exceptional talent category, you actually can be a citizen in 5 years. You know, before we started Vesty, people used to tell me stuff like, UK is so hard to become citizen, they don't give somebody, it's a lie. It's just to know the right thing to do. Many of people that are telling you these things have already been out of status for a long time. So to adjust, to get them back on track is very hard. They came with visiting, overstayed their visit, and they couldn't do much about it. And if you have anybody like that, there are specific routes you can ask them to follow. You know, there are people that will tell them you need to leave that country temporarily and approach it from a different angle, take your ban, collect your ban, so that you can come back. Because what is the purpose of being in a country and running away for 16 years, running around and hiding? You can't even prosper in the way you want to. You can't express your vision, your dreams as you want to. That's why legal immigration is what we are always preaching about. So that's the Tech Nation visa. The final one is the Canada Startup visa. So the Canada Startup visa, basically, as the name implies, you need to have a startup. You need to have a company you are coming to create in Canada, but they don't limit it to only tech startups. So if there's a company you want to go and set up in Canada, consulting, education, finance, even a business, you can essentially, get an endorsement. They also have endorsing bodies. The endorsing bodies for technology are usually incubators, but there are also trade unions. There are chambers of commerces that can actually endorse you for the Canadian Startup Visa. So when you come to us, we evaluate what you have, what you're trying to do to be able to make that possible. We charge 10,000 Canadian dollars for that process as well. So it's these are things that would, position you really quickly, set you apart from others, and really make you stand out to achieve your goals as quickly as possible. Do you guys enjoy my lecture today? Yeah. All right, so let's take some questions now.
So I want to walk into the room.
It's not easy.
We can do better than that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Shola, for such, very deep insights that you've shared. I'm just going to give us numbers if you have questions. So we're going to take this. Number 1. Anybody with questions, please raise a hand. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
Please take note of your numbers.
8, 9, 10, 13. Any other person? I have 13 hands. Any other person? 13, 14, 15. I hope you'll be able to answer the questions. 15,
We're going
16.
to take as many as we can, I guess.
All right. In case we're unable to get you, please just write your question. We'll take the question much later. But let's just take it from one. Number 1.
Thanks a lot. This has been very helpful. My question is, what are specific pathways to the US that immediately allows your spouse to work upon arrival without complications? Thank you.
Thank you. You're asking 2-pronged question, without complications. All right, so I would say, so all of us remember the visas we talked about. O1, that's temporary work permit, right? For special people. EB1, that's the elder brother of O1, right? EB2 requires advanced degree. H1B is a lottery and is a work permit, Abby. And we talked about Tech Nation and Canada Startup Visa. So the EB1 allows your spouse to work immediately. Green card, both of you get the work permit, both of you get the green card. All your kids, that are above a certain age, also everybody that are below 21 gets the access to get the green card. So it allows you to work. EB2, immediately as well. That O1 not able to work immediately, on spouse needs to seek for either the business owner. Yeah, let me use yours. Whose spouses are business owners or consultants or non-profit people. So if you're a non-profit, you can start a non-profit. You can actually even start a business, because B1 to B2 can also start a business in America. Just visiting can start a business, let alone, O3. But to be able to submit it as a work permit to work somewhere would not be possible for the spouse of the O1. So usually people use that time, depending on who the spouse is, who is taking care of the kids. Migration can be tough. So in settling down and all of that, it's usually a nice thing if one person can take care of that front. So it still makes sense. But EB1, EB2 are the ones you are looking for if you want your spouse to work immediately. Also the H1B, your spouse can work immediately, but not without applying for it. So they need to arrive, then apply for a work authorization under you. So, but they must arrive first. So it's not like the day they arrive. So they will be given an approval, but it will be subject to your own approval. So it's when you get in there, that's when they'll be able to get a work permit. So it's only the O1 really that you can say that spouse cannot work.
All right. Please, if your question has been asked, do us the honors by not asking that question.
Again, yeah, that will help save our time.
Much.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much for the insights and the information.
You're welcome.
I have quite a number of questions, but I'll
try to compress them.
You answered one of it already. For the O1 visa, right? Is there a time frame to all of this requirements? So, for example, I have a book, or I wrote the book 10 years
Many
ago.
years ago.
I am a founder, but maybe 10 years ago. Those kind of things. Is there a time frame to any of those requirements? That's number one. Number two, for the Canada startup visa, how many years, what status does it confer to you? That's number two. Number three, I'll just stop at number three so that other people can have their own time. For the payment plan, you said $10,000, $11,000. Now, this payment, is it going to be like a one-time payment, or is it like a spread? The website itself. Is it like a spread? So, for example,
Good question, because I didn't talk about installment plans. So.
Yeah, so you get to this stage, you pay $2,000, for example. You get to another stage, you get to $3,000. Is it spread?
Ask if there's a payment plan, because don't help us to design it. Just say, is there a payment plan? I will explain it to you, no problem. Man.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, great question. So the first question you asked is about time frame. Time frame for gathering. Okay, can things expire? Can things expire? Like how far back can those things be? So luckily, or how recent? Great question. Luckily, I've seen somebody there is working on a book. He wants to publish it very soon. As I say, how recent? Great question. So luckily for us, for the US, there is no, even 1984. Do you understand? Even if you won an award in 1992, and you are just using it now. So I published my book. No age limits. No age limit. If you're a Nobel Prize winner, you'll be selected. No age limit. So, I wrote my book 9 years. If you are 92, but you are a very, very good-looking 60-year-old. If you are, that's amazing. I've been saying, who just turned 60? Moabudu just turned 60. Wale Ojo just turned 60. So all of us are challenging, like okay, we're getting challenged. How you must look when you're 60. Anyways, so you don't have a problem with that. I wrote my book 9 years. It was 9 years after I wrote my book that I realized that I was qualified for the O1 visa since I wrote it. So that's totally fine. If you've won something, you've been a founder somewhere, you were a leader, and you're judging work of others many years ago, that doesn't matter. In terms of how recent, also, it doesn't matter. The only thing we don't want, so newspaper articles that are clearly just trying to prop up the person. So let me explain. There's nothing wrong in telling a story of your career. So because you did not create your career overnight. So it can be published today. That doesn't make it useless, because it's talking about something you've been doing for a long time. Do you get what I mean? So, but sometimes they look at some content as spam, when maybe you go to this, there's some online article posting sites that just do as soon as. I'm not talking about, but if you worked with an editor, a writer, or a columnist on Punch newspaper or Guardian, and they do something for you to describe a book you wrote some years ago, an award you wrote but you never publicized, or a position in society that maybe you are the first person to do XYZ, but it was never written, that is allowed. So something recent is not a problem. If you get a letter of membership that was just written last week to say you are a member in good standing of XYZ organization, it will still count. So as old as possible, as recent as possible. All right? Yeah, the next question is about what status does the Canadian side of visa confer to you? It actually gives you the ability to stay in Canada as a worker for like an initial period of 3 years. And then because Canadian side of visa and almost any visa in Canada, except until recently, can be converted into a permanent residence. You can apply for PR even as a visitor up until recently when they just announced it. So the Canadian side of visa gets you in there, you can work, you can, get all the things you need, insurance, all of that, and then you will be able to convert it to a permanent residency ultimately. And the third question is about payment plans. So sorry I didn't talk about it, but that's one of the things we talk about at Vesti. I told you we're a combination of, legal and financial services. So we know that one of the things that deters people is that they don't have the money all at once. So what we say is that you should pay 50% of the entire payment before we start, and you pay the remaining 50% just before we start writing your petition. So petition is, we have guided you through document gathering. Now we're like, this is the last document you are giving us. You are not giving us any other document. We want to begin writing your petition. A petition is really a letter that you are using to explain to the US government who you are. So it will catalog all of the things that you've gathered in your evidences into a single document that explains it. So it's really the petition letter the officer reads that makes them to make a decision. So before we write that petition letter, you would have paid your balance. That's how it works, because we don't argue prices and we don't chase people. So usually that time frame is depending on you. If you gather it really quickly, you will be ready to pay quickly. If you gather it long, you'll be ready to pay. You can finish gathering everything and say, petition yet. I'm waiting to gather my balance. Do you get? And there are some people who are like, I have this money now. I don't know what it will look like. When I did my own one, Jonathan was, I think, it was Buhari, but, the Naira had not gotten to this level that it was. So there are people who I told last year, just before we changed power, or just before we got into a renewed hope. You understand? I told them, I said, do this thing. Exactly. I said, do this thing. But they didn't do it in time. So now, it has affected. But I'm still telling them, this is still the best time to do it. Because we don't know how the hope is going to go. So, anyways.
Okay. So that's the second question. Second person with the question. Right?
Yes.
Number 3.
Don't worry, I'll try to move fast with the questions now.
Okay, thank you, Olu. My question is on H1B. I wanted to find out, is there a guaranteed job and maybe like an accommodation for the applicant when they come in? Second question, okay, can the person apply for maybe EB1 or EB2 NIW while on H1B? Less than the 3 years. Okay, and before I also let you answer, let me just drop in some things. Let me just maybe give a bit of testimony here to let people know that Vesti is actually real. So this is not my first time meeting Olu, but part of what he said, I'm part of the people that did not come on board on time, and I brought my friends, and they're all fine. I can even show you approvals on my phone. So I came here to clear some things and to see if I can help my siblings as well. So just to add that, thank you.
Thank you. That's why I first of all did my mouth like this, because I'm like, I know you, now that you're not asking for accommodation now. I know you just want to know. Usually sometimes when people ask questions, they're also asking it even for other people, especially even younger people, to be able to know, would they have a community to be a part of? Sometimes if they say, if somebody has for accommodation, they're not even asking you to pay, but can you facilitate? Can you show? Is there shared living and things like that? So the very first thing is that you asked about the EB1. Can you quickly do even while you are still on the H1B? Yes, you don't have to wait till the expiration. Usually, I don't advise anybody to wait the expiration of anything. Just act out of being very responsible to oneself. to be able to convert. So that's why they said I've answered that question. Now, for accommodation and job, basically what we are providing through our partners is an employer of record. Employer of record essentially means this person is hiring you, but they typically do outsourcing. They can connect you to other jobs and all of that. And you yourself can actually begin to apply for roles. I'll give you an example. The 240 people that we have gotten this year now, we're about to send them an email. I don't know whether I know you guys have sent it out. We invite them for an artificial intelligence training so that before they arrive in America, they learn about AI and all of that. They get a certificate. They learn about data analysis so that they can eventually be so competitive to get jobs and all of that. So the employer of record work, what you're paying for recruiting fees here is to send you, we also send like jobs and all of those things. And you can actually do H-1B transfer from one employer to the other once you find a better job or you find an employment. So, but all of that is usually explained through what we call a clarity call. When you are done paying this fee covers clarity call as well. A video will show that explains all of the details to you in addition to it for you to allow you to know what will happen every single step of the way. Right? But for most people, I've seen very senior people who know that getting a job, you remember how I started my story? I had a job, but no work permit. So that getting a job won't be so much of their problem as not having paper to work. Because there's always a deficit. I used to work in recruiting before, that was Microsoft, then I started Coven Works for recruiting before Vesti. And what I found out is that only 42% of job roles that are posted in the US every year are actually filled. Only 42%. So there's always a deficit of jobs. So many people, so many roles advertised, nobody to fill them. And it happens mostly in prosperous countries. So that's why they really need immigrants who can take on real jobs. So I'm talking about tech jobs. I'm not talking about many jobs. The US is not even really known for that, especially for immigrants of Nigerian descent. We don't do anyhow job. Go and find out. People, if you know what many jobs is, you won't say driving Uber or doing restaurants. It's not considered many job. The kind of things people do in the UK, you don't want to know. And part of my passion is to lift people out of that. So even in America, I've not seen somebody who has a bachelor's degree, has these skills, data, or Salesforce, or any of these things, which are things we would channel you to, that will stay more than 3 to 6 months in the market. They will get a role. Their path is so predictable that my brother had to tell me to stop saying people's paths are predictable, that it's God's mercy. I said, I know it's God's mercy. But I can almost tell that if this guy lands here with his work permits, does this training, he will land this job. Because our energy as Nigerians now, you are not sleeping, you are practicing. They are like, have you done this job before? You say, give it to me, let me try. Do you get what I'm saying? So that passion is always there. So we provide that support. Accommodation, we're in the early stages of an initiative that you're probably one of the first few people that are hearing it, not even some of my colleagues that are in here today, that helps. In fact, we've done the first set where when people arrive, what we're doing is temporary. Just about a week of finding somewhere to stay that is well equipped and everything before you move on to. But we want to do a little more long term, that people can be part of. So we're partnering with some real estate companies and all of that can make that possible. Shared apartments, shared living, and those kind of things like that. And we will provide details as far as that's concerned. We've seen that is a really good opportunity for us to fulfill our mission to help people, every minute thereafter, not just help them with their visa. So I hope that helps. Yeah. And if you have specific scenarios, because you've recommended people to us, specific scenarios, we would ask, we will ask around, we'll show you how easy, how quickly you can get something. I have some families who got the apartments before they landed, which is also interesting. They didn't stay one day like this in Airbnb. Just moved directly. So we know some landlords who are able to do that. Large apartments who are able to do that.
All right,
Number four. So we're showing something on the screen right now, which is basically the registration page. If you follow it, you'll be sent. This way we take you to. If you are here in this room and it takes you to the $1,000 page, ask any of my colleagues, send them an email that this is the page that you are looking for. Or if you just feel led, to go on with it, just. Bumi said no. That they should not do what? When was that? Online, no, not put that here. Bumi is not that. See, let me tell you something. Bumi is not that wicked. She can be hard, but she's not that wicked. But yeah, so it's for everybody that is interested in going ahead with it. Yeah. Just make sure you look at the pay button before you click pay, because basically we made sure that it's only for people that took their time, came out, and just to encourage somebody. Say, that if you didn't give me that discount that year, I would not have done it. So I'm glad I did it. Something like that. So next question, number 5.
Thank you. Good evening. Great to meet you, sir. And a testimony first. My sister won.
Hey, congratulations.
We are still waiting for approval. She come fast.
Don't need to do like this. It's coming. As it has come for other people, it will come for her too. Yeah.
Amen.
I think they got 14 approvals yesterday. Just yesterday. So it will come.
Okay. I also played. I didn't win.
Oh.
So my
I know a few people that played. I didn't win too.
My question is there something you can do for us that played with our money and did not win? 1.
First of all, it's really interesting that you're using the word play, but I get your point.
Okay. Then my second question, if you've been denied a visa before, is there any problem if you're applying for any of these other visas? Third question, does ministry work award or where you were working before, the award, does it count?
Let's start from that one. Yes, it counts. Because you're working in the ministry of government. That's critical capacity. So
no, ministry as per church.
Ministry. Church work. It counts. I will tell you about, we have a friend. Our friend came in the morning. Where is Mr. Wale? Yes, Mr. Adeola's friend came in the morning. She's in Houston now. She was here like 4 Point by Sheraton. That's where she came. I was speaking maybe 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago. That's why I first said we've been doing this for some time. I can say this is what you'll be doing for the number of 2 to 3 years. Like, if you're a musician, we'll ask you to build an itinerary of where you want to perform. If you are all these things. And those things are all provisional. Doesn't mean that America will hold your neck if you don't do it when you get there. No, they are provisional. It just shows the plan. So if you have those relationships, it's advantageous. But do not take it for granted that because I have those relationships, my visa is guaranteed. So I think that's the best way I can answer that question.
Number 9.
Are you number 9, sir? Okay. The way you first raise that hand is like you want to act like you're number 9. Okay, so first someone else was raising their hand.
Yeah, so on the O1 visa, right, I wanted to know how it impacts your application to other countries, right? So again, how does it impact your mobility across other territories?
Fantastic question. Okay.
And then the second one is if you have
everybody has a second question.
If you have a startup, right, already incorporated in the US,
yes,
the pathway to bring in on board maybe some employees from Nigeria, will it be the H1B, or are there other pathways to sort of engage?
I love that question. That's a very nice question. The first one is about the O1 visa and mobility advantages it gives you. So the O1 visa gives you mobility advantages in that because you have a work permit of America, which is the O1 visa, you don't need to ever come and face any consular in Nigeria anymore. As long as the embassy is in America. And there are many, many embassies in America. So if you're going to Canada, you process it from within. Anything, you process from within. So that's a very good advantage, isn't it? So it removes you from the line and the embarrassment that people have to go through back home. Yes. Same for your family. Same for every other person that is holding that visa. So, and then for a startup founder, once you have moved, let me just tell you an advantage for a startup founder. If your company is already incorporated in the US, you save about $300 off our registration fees. So inside that, your $10,000 for O1, we won't pay $300, something like that. And we will remove it as well for subsequent employees that are also doing the O1, like your co-founder and other people. There's also O2. O2 is for people that are assisting you. So let's say you are a footballer, your coach. If you are a performer, all the musicians on your band, O2. If you are a gymnast, the person that manages your body, your muscles, your whatever, your coach anyways, it works. In fact, if you can prove it in the line of your startup that this person's, my existence is dependent on this person. I don't know what it is for startup founders really, but if you can prove that, that person gets an O2. So we have even seen a wife of somebody get an O2. And that helped them to be able to work. You know why? Allows them to be able to work, but this person didn't work. The reason is because they were on the incorporation document of their husband. So they were like a director in that company. So that's sort of like, O2. So, but because they wanted to still work using that company, it just made sense like that. Then your question is about employees. So you can use any route, really. L1, intra-company transfer, meaning they are moving from a subsidiary of that company in Nigeria to the US subsidiary. You can use O1 if that person is a developer and is smart. The company will just be the sponsor. That's all. The person also has to have all the special things, newspaper, this, that. H1B is an option as well, where the person in the law, and then you put yourself as the sponsoring organization. So that person will choose, I have my own company. So preferably, if you are the employer, you're the one that should fill this form for them. Just put their details so that you won't have to release company details, company EIN to every employee you are trying to help. Do you understand? Vesti has brought employees to America from Nigeria with their families. All of these work-based visas gives you the US Social Security number. Huh? Even the H1B.
All right, number 10.
These questions, I hope they're helping you guys as well, right? They're helping other people, yeah. Those are great questions. Number 10. We'll give number 10 the opportunity. I'll give my final words. We will now see if we can answer some more questions.
Number 10. Question answer. I will take number 11.
Oh, the question has answered. Let's take number 11 now. No, we're not giving the slot yet. Let's go to number 11 first. Let's finish so that we don't...
11.
Yes.
Number 11. Are you number 11?
Okay, so
We
my
found number
question
11,
is, I don't know if you guys have a pathway that is related to the US entrepreneurial visa.
That's correct.
Which one is it, sorry?
Well, the O1 visa is an entrepreneur visa as well as a career visa. That's why they're talking about startup founders. So if you're an entrepreneur, it works for you. If you're a career person, it works for you. So that's the O1 visa. There are also other entrepreneurship visas like the E2. The E2 is a mini investor visa, but it's not open to Nigerians right now. Right? You can spend something between $60,000, like a franchise, McDonald's, or, well, you can't buy McDonald's for $60,000, but like a franchise of a store, and then that can become the avenue for you to move to America. There's also the EB5, the Oga Patapata of them all. It costs $1.2 million. It's an investor visa, so you're an entrepreneur as well. So you can get it for between $800,000 and $1.2 million. $800,000 is for employment route, meaning that you want to create a business that will employ people. $800,000. Or you want to do real estate, which is you want to put your money in a real estate development in what we call a regional center, an accredited regional center, and you want to get the 1.2 million back after 5 years. Only the 1.2, no nothing. Just the 1.2 million that you get. But all your family members will have gotten the green card. You, your spouse, and your kids under the age of 21. So if you want to learn more about that, you can do like a general clarity call with us to learn more. Yeah, so the general clarity call is, you want to talk about it? The general clarity call is a call for anybody who is not sure yet, out of all these options, what they are going to do. They want to explain their case specifically to an attorney at Vesti, and the expert will be able to talk them through the opportunities that are available. So you can say that what I did this evening is an example of a general clarity call. Just explaining. You know, there are religious visas, R1, there's P visa, entertainment visa, P3. You know, there is J1, exchange visa. So if you talk, you might give us some vibe that makes us to know that actually it's an entertainment visa you should go and get. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what the general clarity session does. It costs $115 to do that. And then again, it's deducted from any case you eventually decide to do. All right? $115. 115. That's correct. The other clarity calls, EB1, O1, they are $99. We've not talked about the call to action. Apart from the H1B, the call to action for the EB1, what should you do next? If you wanted to do the EB1, the EB2, or the O1, is to book a clarity call. That's how we onboard people. You can't just walk up to me and say, Shola, I actually have the $10,000. Can I transfer it? Give me an invoice. No. We want to do a clarity call with you. It's our way of actually knowing, fully what you're about, providing you the context. It has helped us to maintain a stellar approval rate because we can literally advise you and say, actually, you need 2 more months to do this. or this is what you need to go and do to be able to get ready for this, or we're actually sure we can pretty much do this. Okay, go ahead and we'll send you an invoice for you to make the payment less of the $99. Also allows us to read the disclosures out to you so that it reduces any form of friction whatsoever. After you pay for that, we'll send you a next steps email. The next steps email, once you receive it, you reply that you confirm. We don't send invoices if you don't tell us you've confirmed. So we'll send you the invoice. When we send you the invoice, you can pay in Naira or you can pay in dollar. If you are paying in Naira, we determine the rate, not you. So basically, we'll tell you what the rate is and you can decide. Otherwise, you can obtain it at that rate that you want in USD and just bring the USD to us. So it helps us not to argue price back and forth, but we always try to give the best rate that we can find, that would not put us at this disadvantage. Also, the other caveat to paying with Naira is that you pay at the rate of that day you want to pay your balance. Not that you say, 3 years ago, I paid for my own one, and Naira was 500 Naira. Today now it's 1,005. I want to pay at the rate of that day. It won't work. It's not pragmatic. So that's why we're close to encourage people to pay with USD. There's also card payment, and there's wire transfers, that you can do. So we made it easy. We're the ones that want to get paid. So we make it easy for you. You've done enough work looking for the resources. We don't want to make it hard to do that. So those are the call to action. So the link to the clarity call, Bomi, I don't know how you want to display that. If it's going to be displayed, especially for EB2 NIW. The good thing about EB2 NIW is that it's one of my favorite visas because I know the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics puts the number of master's degree holder at over 1.5 million people that have master's degree in Nigeria. In every year alone in Nigeria, I hear about 1-point-something million people get into high schools. About 1-point-something million, graduate from high school, SSC, but only 250,000 make it into our colleges based on the capacity of our schools. So it turns out that almost every year we churn out around 200,000 graduates. And you can check that also by the number of people that get mobilized for NYSC. So if you calculate that as well, that will give you a sense of how many graduates just in the last 10 years alone. So, and for a program that allows bachelor's degree and 5 years experience, can't you see that that's one of the most interesting ones? And also for those who have done masters, there are many master's degree holders in Nigeria. So it's a really favorite, product for us at Vesti, and we encourage people to just, give it a shot. Any other questions? Do we still have more questions? These are the after. Oh, we have not finished the numbers. Oh, okay, please, let's finish that one before I start. Number 12. All right, let's take number 12. We're almost done, guys. In case you are, we're almost done. We have just 15. So we have just 15 questions.
So I think you've touched
already.
Most of my questions, but the last one is a political ambition.
For somebody who has political ambition.
What's like the best route?
Political ambition is, even if you are American, I think Nigerian government, they found a way. There are a few British people that are ministers now. Mr. Saraki was a governor, right? And a Senate president who is in line of succession to the president. Am I correct? In his constitution, yes. Right? And is he not American? Was he American or British? He's British. So you get what I mean? So, but I know a few people who say, I have a very close somebody who is running for office at some point. He feels that it can be used by his political opponents. Constitution-wise, I don't know that it's an issue. I don't know which section. Those of you are lawyers. It's not there, right? Exactly. It's no longer there. Oh, 1984. Can you imagine? I'm moving here. Thank you. It's not an issue, but you agree that political opponents can say all kinds of things, and just use it to destabilize the moment. So I would say that none of these things. In fact, if you don't have that advantage, you might not win that office eventually. So try and get that advantage so that you can you can go back and forth. There are some of our leaders now that can't really go back and forth because of some certain issues. So if you are, although it puts you under more microscope, if you have plans to be a good person and continue to be a good person. And when we talk about good, even in America, this they are not really like that. You've seen everything with Trump and all that. So, I don't really, thankfully, it doesn't affect our constitution, and it's something that you should really consider, that could give you an advantage. A mentor of mine says something that by the year 2030, there's going to be so many Nigerian Americans that there will be children who were born, you know how many people have gone to give birth in America? You'll just be seeing blue passport everywhere. It will no longer be a big deal, you know. And that's most likely the generation that might change Nigeria, because they're no longer held by what is holding. They're no longer held by survival. You know, they can leave everything just to really want to change something. You know, their ambition is different. That's a 2030. That's even early. That's a theory. That's a theory. By the way, this is not a political discourse. It's just a theory.
I'm 13. I'm the one you pointed to.
Who is 13?
Okay.
Let 13, let's just take 14.
Okay, so let me.
Or are there more than one 13s?
No. Let me. Okay, so I'm 13A.
Okay, 13A.
Yes.
At 13B.
Okay. I already have a mic here too. Okay, well, my question is, okay, first, I'm among the people that were selected this year, H1B, approved, and gone for consular interview and everything. So.
And what?
I'm waiting to pick up my passport.
You have been given the. You know, this is you now waited to the end to tell me. That's good. Congratulations. So,
thank you.
You have a family, right?
Yes, I have a family.
Family of?
Just 3 of us.
3 of you guys. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
So I just want to confirm, is it compulsory that I must enter by the 1st of October? Because when I was doing my consular application, I did just mine with the intention that my family would do theirs afterwards. So
okay.
I just want to clarify that.
Great question. So, because your employment date says you resume October 1st, it is preferable to enter around October 1st. You know, if you come July next year, you say, what happened? And your employer did not fire you. Do you get what I mean? So, around, because it makes sense. They can see October 1st. But if you come October 4th, 5th, they won't say, oh, what happened? You're able to, yeah, but against, but I think what you can do, lawyers, any lawyers here? Any of the lawyers here? They left already. Okay. Yes, even for your family. No, for your the family is not the worker. I would encourage you to avoid any issues. Try to get them to apply before you leave Nigeria. Yes, let them apply, even if they are not traveling. Let them apply and get the visa. For example, maybe they are in school or this, but let them have that visa. They can come and meet their mom. Yes, preferably. Yes. Okay. From the transcript people. When were you selected? March? April or? Okay, so you have not gotten your verification, but you submitted, you paid, you filed. And we need to have a meeting. It's different because all cases have been filed, so you shouldn't still be waiting for verification till now. That's from your school. Yes. And your school is now our own serious issue, really.
I went recently
to okay, anyways, let's discuss that. Since you're an active case, you are advanced. Right. We will discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned about the EB3 call to action.
Yes.
You did not state the price.
Clarity calls, $99. $99, yes. What do you say on our website? No, that's the H1B. H1B, the 1,000 you saw is 1,000. Please go and pay it.
I was just like the case.
Don't tell. Okay.
But I can see some positive feedback.
Yes.
Maybe I will do H1B.
Yes, again.
But I'm
EB2.
one-on-one, not a recorded one.
We are happy. We did it with our full chest so that I won't die. So continue. Yes. Yeah, I see, this is not the place. I appreciate. Okay, I appreciate. Okay.
So I would like this one. I want to know if the EB2 will be a one-on-one. I can ask. I can really understand. Okay.
That's fine. Are you happy now? Are you done?
I'm happy, and I hope I'll get the discount because I did it much.
Okay. Anyways. The clarity call is $99. H1B clarity call was pre-recorded earlier here, and it was pre-recorded for one simple reason. We had 2,000 calls to take, and we're a team of 43. There's no way to serve everybody, and that's why we did it. Others reached out to us to say, I want a follow-up call that is individual, and we didn't charge $8 for it. Meaning that if you did ask us and say, after doing the recorded, I've watched it too, but I need a follow-up call. And we put all the details even there in the text as well. Say, if you need a follow-up call, this is what I'm Nisuru. Calm down. That's part of the reason we are starting the H1B early this year. We returned $10,000 to people. It's there. Many people got refunds. If you didn't watch the video, or for some reason you couldn't access it, and there's proof that you couldn't access it. There's a department for finance, for refund. They examined it, and they took care of them. Your real question is that for the EB2, is it going to be a one-on-one call? And the answer is yes, it will be. But this year, we've also started pre-recorded calls and AI-driven calls because we want to succeed in life. And we found out that you can't do everything as one-on-one, but the pricing will be different. So we found out that there are people who are satisfied with not coming all the way to meet anybody, who can watch it. The same year that you went cool with it because you needed to interact, which is okay, it's human preferences. There were people who were like, rather than me wait till the 26th of the month when you will have time to do this call, give me a pre-recorded call now so I can answer my questions. So we just figured out that it's a dilemma trying to satisfy everybody. So, but now we've made it easier. We now have 3 types of calls launching, September, launching like October 1st. One will be AI-led. That's AI-led, that you literally know that this is an artificial intelligence talking to you. You're not trying to fake it. The second one is going to be pre-recorded, meaning that he answers all the questions that are very popular. It's cheaper. The final one is going to be a one-on-one call. So it reduces the traffic to one-on-one calls, and it allows us to be able to focus on other things that the business wants to do. So I feel your pain. There's something I didn't want to tell you before, but now I will tell you. Especially because of what you just expressed now. The $1,000 you were seeing is for those who didn't come today. Those who came today are getting a voucher to pay $715. So I think you went out when we were talking about it to do something. You heard that, yes. Yeah, so, the voucher is not enough. That's what she's saying, Abby. If you didn't get the voucher, you still need the voucher, please. We want to do business now. She's just trying to say that they don't have enough vouchers. We will create an avenue for you guys to do that. So if you didn't get a voucher tonight and you still need a voucher, I will be here. We can wait. Anu and I will figure out. All right? Does that make sense? I need that energy on the other side. Need it in the United States. Help us. Help. Number 14. Don't worry, just one more, and then, yeah, because I know some people that if they don't share the grace in church, they can't leave. They just feel guilty. Yeah, so they're like, I don't want to miss anything important that they will say, so I have you in mind.
Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to ask, one, the dependents, what visa do they get if you go via maybe the H1B?
H1B.
Or even though the O1 visa? Yeah,
the O1 visa, they get O3.
They get O3, not
O3,
O2.
not O2.
Okay, I think you explained more.
That's how I was explaining that the O2 is the one that wants to support you, your coach, your coach, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, that's one. The second question is for people that probably have like a master's or a BSc that is different from what they actually do now. How can they go about it?
So people that have masters.
So what for example, now there's a time that the banks were taking geoscientists.
That's right.
Yeah, so you studied geology in school, but you end up as a banker.
Yes.
So what's the route? As now candidates maneuver that kind of a thing? That's what I'm trying to say.
That's when they get to America.
No, in the application.
There's no for H1B, there is no, I never mentioned any course. I just said you must have a bachelor's.
Can I rephrase that question?
Experience, yeah.
So, for instance, the proposed endeavor.
Yes.
Probably you studied geoscience or whatever.
Got it.
And now you've transitioned into IT.
Into banking
So
or IT.
Does that really work? Can you use
So your proposed
masters?
endeavor is going to be in the course you studied. Yes. But that's why it's called a proposed endeavor. So listen to this. Let's say you are a geoscientist and you do a proposed endeavor on fracking. Do you understand? Or you do it on exploration in high mountainous areas of the United States deserts, whatever. That's the proposed endeavor. Doesn't mean that when you get to America with your green card, that's what you must do. And I'm not saying this as, oh, corner way. No, it's on the US government website. They're literally trading the green card for your ideas, for your patentable work. So that proposed endeavor that has been delivered is an idea that is going to be developed by someone in the US or that is going to be developed or used by the US government. You get what I'm saying? So, but it has to be in what you studied because that's what we connect to your bachelor's certificate.
Certifications
can't break that. If that certification is not a bachelor's or HND, it won't help you on track with that.
Oh, okay.
Let's say you want to use banking now because you've been a banker for 10 years. You must have a banking and finance
background.
Background.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but that's a great question, isn't it?
15.
Yeah, 15.
15, yeah.
Good. I got selected visa, thanks to Vesti.
Congrats.
But I got an RFE from USCIS, and an expert opinion letter was advised by
great.
Vesti.
Great.
And they helped get me around it, and they submitted, which was submitted on the 5th of August.
Okay.
And surprisingly, I was a bit worried because this has not been, there wasn't any response still to USCIS. So as at last week when I wrote, I got a response telling me that they are still trying to gather these things around and then submit. I'm just a bit worried because I know the deadline is for 21st of this month, which is less than 11 days. And I'm just wondering, why do they have to wait all this time, you know? And what happens just in case they don't submit before that deadline?
No, if they don't submit, if we don't submit before the deadline, that means we didn't fulfill our obligation.
Yeah.
And we don't do that.
Okay.
You know, we don't do that. I can't begin to tell you cases of like things, wild things we've had to do just to make people meet their deadlines. You know, we don't do that. It's a failure of your attorney team. We won't let that happen. Now, on the issue of why they got it on August 5th, why haven't they sent it? RFEs work differently at Vesti. So the first thing is that the US government that gave us time till the last day knows what they are doing. It's not like, okay, if you submit it on the last day, that means you are not serious. No, they don't do that. They gave it until that time because we have other RFEs and other projects that we're working on that are even more pressing. So we look at what is more pressing. Do you understand? So it's possible that there were cases that had to go out August 5th, September 1, and all of that, and those are the ones that will be prioritized. All right? But we won't have it and then intentionally not file it. They want to make sure they get all the other things that they need to add to it to make it happen. But should you be concerned, drop these notes the way you are concerned right now. Yesterday, I met Olusola at an event. He assured me that you guys are on my case. It would be great if we can do this submission at least a week before our RFE deadline, just so my heart is at peace. That's all. But really, we will not wait. We will not let that happen. Yeah, and thank God it's just expert opinion letter they needed. It's usually a no-brainer. So you should be joining us soon. I'm looking forward. I'm sending a survey out to you guys about housing and stuff. Please fill it for me. Yes, there's some housing surveys. We want to know the kind of needs you have and things like that. For those of you who are coming back home in December, there's a planning for those who are coming back home. So even if you have recently gone, but you come back after 3 months, there are people who will do that. They can't miss December. Let us know if you are coming because it will be nice to have you at that party as well. Yeah, we invite even all our clients. It's not just, in fact, yes, because the idea is that we don't want you to come to that party next year as somebody that is seeking, wants to be a returnee by the time you are coming back next year. That's the idea of that party. Don't worry, I'm already letting the cat out of the bag, but we'll let you know more details about it. That's it. Questions over? Oh my God. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you for coming and for making our time. One of the things, I want to repeat the call to action for visas before the H1B.
We mentioned that you can register immediately after now outside of the desk, or a thank you email is going to be sent to you, and on that thank you email for coming for this session, you can just click on the button and get started.
Okay, sounds good. So they're sending a thank you email. That's the clarity call. If you don't want to wait for that, let me give you one ashiri now. You can go on secret. Because of this room, the dates are going to go further down. That's what happened to that, my sister. So you might find out that you're booking September 29th. And today is September 10th. You're like, why? Because some people have quickly booked. So before you get that email, our clarity calls are on calendly.com/Vesti. That's all. Calendly. You know Calendly, the booking platform? Calendly.com/Vesti. Somebody just put their name and their email. That's all. If you also have the Vesti app, you just click on speak to an attorney inside the Vesti app. You can book it, just choose the visa type before Bumi sends that email. What it does is it just puts you in front of the line. Because people ask me, I really want to do this now. Can I speak to you guys tomorrow? Is there a way you can bring it back? No. The appointments are put there based on the availability of the experts. So if you guys want to, move faster than others, calendly.com/Vesti, or inside the Vesti app. If you've downloaded the Vesti app, which I hope you do, because there's many other benefits, just click on Speak to an Attorney. Log in and click on Speak to an Attorney. You will be able to see the calendar links there. Make sure you choose the one for the visa you want. Don't choose the B1 if it's O1 you want to talk about because the price is cheaper. Don't and then get on the call and say, sorry, this is not what I wanted to do. I've seen that. But if you mistakenly, and that happens, and we can notice that it's not mischief or anything, we usually reschedule. That's not a problem at all. But I just want to tell you, but please wait for the email as well. If you didn't get that link very well, it will be sent to you just to be sure. And also, there is a place to register outside on the website, on the registration desk there, where you can quickly do it and you can make your payments and move forward. That's that about that. That's the call to action for O1, EB1, EB2NIW. For H1B, which I think many of you are doing simultaneously with whatever plan you are trying to do, which is the lottery. That's not why we're here. We're just mentioning it. That's the link up there. The website has been on for quite some time. And we have also, I think, how does she plan to send that? She sent that already. Okay, that's what they said they sent already. Please grab the vouchers. If you're part of people that they said, oh, voucher has finished, I'm going to be back in here, and Hanu and I are going to do something about it for you to be able to go on and pay for that. It lasts for only 48 hours. After 48 hours, you'll be back to the normal price that we are more than happy to sell it because, we're probably one of the cheapest still. A lot of people are still, and if you have an employer, you can save yourself quite a lot of money right from there. 48 hours. Oh, see, one thing that Bumi is kind with, she said it's 72 hours, not 48. Thank you, Bumi. No, I know, because your reputation goes before you. So basically, 72 hours, before they say sorry, because sometimes it may take time to find a dollar card or to be able to get a Naira card. Or there's also opportunity for transfer there. Just choose, just toggle to Naira. Once you talk to Naira and click it, where, Oga, somebody is there with who is there with the stuff? Can you toggle to Naira? If you toggle to Naira and click on Naira, you will see an opportunity to use card or to use transfer. And you can basically do that. So it shows you the Naira amount. And if you click on it, it would allow you to do transfer. That works. Finally, if there's any of the things you've forgotten tonight, I will eventually. Thank you for reminding me. If you forget everything we say tonight and you need to remember something, just email us at talentvisa@wevesti.com. Talentvisa@wevesti.com. Vesti.com. Wevesti. W-E-V. Talentvisa@wevesti.com. Message us there. That would really help to answer any questions. Oh, I forgot a link. Can I get a link? Oh, I need a Naira account. Oh, I need this. We're always there to help. If you are on any of these processes and you have downloaded our app, when you are creating an account, it will ask you whether you want a debit card or not from Vesti. We hope that you select it because if you do that, you're already preparing for your journey. Rather than using all these other banks that don't support your migration, you use our platform for whatever payment you want to do. When you move to America and you want to send airtime home, you use the platform. You want to pay for DSTV, you use the platform. You want to pay for Uber, you use the platform. You want to pay for tuition, use the platform. And we have also dollar cards. We have wallets like Kenyan shillings wallet, USD, British pounds wallet as well on the platform, right? And the card, eventually now we're working on memberships to make sure that you can use the card in lounges and airports around the world as well. It's a MasterCard, and it's actually free to use on ATMs nationwide. Did you know that? Oh, yes. So all those 16 naira is actually free to use on ATMs nationwide. But you're always like, really? For real? Yeah. So definitely you wanna go check that out. We ship it for free, so you're not paying for the card. It's a Naira card actually, but we are working on. We also have a dollar card equivalent inside the app, but that's virtual. That's virtual. We're actually working on a platinum card soon as well that will be able to do both Naira and dollar. That is a physical card, but right now we have the virtual dollar card. Say again. Yes, we're doing migration and banking. Collabo. Exactly. All right. Any other questions? Final words. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. That's my final words. You guys are. We're doing that after to share the grace first. I want to say thank you to Bob. Seriously, I'll answer it. I want to say thank you to all of you guys. Thank you to the team that put this together. Excellent work. I think Toronto is the only one that was fuller than this. You know, so Nigeria, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We're in Toronto. We did Manchester. We did Birmingham. You know, and now, let me tell you what my joy usually is. There's this thing that Apple does for you, your iPhones, where it shows you pictures from like 2 years. Do you know that we did a meeting like this at Radisson Blue? Bumi, where are you? At Radisson Blue, where we start with Radisson Blue, where we start with Damola. I won't mention their last names. That's how with Damola, start with Morayo, start with like people. You know some of these guys. You were there. Almost everybody in that picture. I'm like, I know where this guy lives right now. So that's what I want to see, you know. I want to see you come down to the Vesti office in Dallas or meet us in an event in New York, depending on what city you go to, and say, I'm one of your people. It's really exciting to see this. That's the story we want to tell. And that's what is helping us to grow. Because people go back and they talk to their family members, they talk to their sister. If your sibling was not there in the pool, now, we're still waiting for yours by God's grace, but I'm saying that imagine she wasn't there, she would not have gotten it. So tell your siblings, tell your friends about it as well. If you need any further assurances beyond what I have given, I'm here in flesh and blood. I have my colleagues here. We have an office that sits about 40 people in Lekki here. If you need any more assurances, please let us know. Research us online, ask questions, you know, and all of that. One more time, thank you for coming. Give us a review on the App Store. We're trying to get our review to 5-star by the end of the year. You know, when we used to do virtual cards, we had issues that time with when we started virtual cards, and some Yahoo boys wanted to vote us down by all means because we blocked them. So they wrote all kinds of things. But now, this year, this is September, we've had an average of 4.6, 4.7 stars. So this is important to me. So I would ask that you please go to the App Store or the Play Store and write something great about maybe what you did this evening. Don't give us 4.9. Don't give us 4.8. Give us 5-star. Nigerians don't like giving 100% score. We got it from university. You cannot score 100%. For App Store, it matters. Give us 5-star so that we can scale out. I'm sure customer success will order. She's going to order a gift for me for doing this because we really need this. Thank you so much, guys, and have a wonderful evening.
All right. On the final note, I can confirm that you have all gotten an email right now, so please check your inbox. Thank you very much.
Vibes on the frequency, yeah. Till infinity. Steady on a different thing. Love is very sweet. But first you must
More music on trendybeats.com.
But time to take over. You don't play, I trouble you. Back down to Lucifer. I not to follow pastor, they be for mom. Father na father. See me, I don't busy my call. I won't focus on you. On God. I one day, any time my way. Any time my way. Jabon, lomo, cannabis. I one day, any time my way. Any time my way. Jabon, lomo, me I get sense. God, I come first. I don't boss. Plenty talk, plenty noise, plenty people. Don't go without me I get sense. I get one. I come first. I don't boss. Plenty talk, plenty noise, plenty people. Don't go without me. Hey God, don't make her follow. So what things they cost? I still want to walk, I still want to turn on. Hey God, don't make it cost. I still want to walk, I still want to turn on. Get father in a life. Sometimes I can't lie. You take the show for face. You like to say that. Check the hell on life. Get you from your life. Like you show down. Make them know mommy and I all day, any time away. Any time away. Jabon, lomo, cannabis. I all day, any time away. Any time away. Jabon, lomo, me I get sense. I get God, I come first. I don't boss. Plenty talk, plenty noise, plenty people. Don't go without me I get sense. I get God, I come first. I don't boss. Plenty talk, plenty noise, plenty people. Don't go without me. Hey God, don't make her follow. This all what things they cost. I still want to walk, I still want to turn on. Hey God, don't make her follow. This all what things they cost. I still want to talk.
You know me, I too like cocoa. Nothing you find go so good. Me, I get up for shokoto. Baby, your body roboto. Make up and I'm like cocoso. Make up like you go opoto. Oyibo make we chokoto. Yeah, and bed. Kilo day, thank bed. Yeah, and bed. Double XL, long bay. One berry. Berry for me, one berry. Ó ti pẹ́ tójú mi ti ń lẹ́rì. Mo ti pẹ́ jù lágbẹ́rì náà. Mo jókòtò, ló ṣe mi yá tó like gbogbo. Wetin you find go sokoto? Ṣàwọn lẹ́gbà. It's your body dey rokoto. Make us spin am like kokoso.